a lot of you hearing that the writer's strike is now on are probably wondering, how is this going to affect things? You might consume a lot of shows or movies, streaming content. You might wonder what is gonna happen. Well, first of all, I would say, before worrying over much about whether the next Guardians comes out or whatever, and I know they're finishing with this one, bear in mind that you should show solidarity for fellow workers. It might make your life a little bit inconvenient, but you can also take it as an opportunity to go catch up on stuff that came out years before. There's some great shows that you might have never watched. Have you seen Battlestar Galactica? It's quite enjoyable. That can hold you over for a little bit. But that said, okay, we got the solidarity. In terms of the actual effect, well, it does mean that a lot of different film and production houses are going to be shutting down. There will be some immediate effects as well. Nightly talk shows like The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel Live, The Tonight Show are set to go dark starting today. So this is immediate effects. Late Night with Seth Meyers and The Daily Show also will be hit. While such weekly shows as Saturday Night Live, Real Time with Bill Maher, and Last Week Tonight will be similarly impacted, though final decisions are expected to be made. I believe they announced that SNL is shutting down for the season. They had 3 more episodes. Pete Davidson was supposed to come back this weekend. I think that that's done. You also have popular broadcast network shows that have been renewed for following seasons starting this fall, including Abbott Elementary, NCIS, and La Brea. They would almost certainly be impacted in the near term. And so you might have to wait 6 months or a year for that next season. Movies less so immediately, because generally they've already shot the movies, they're being edited. So you might not feel the effects of this when it comes to movies for something like a year. But if there is a long strike, then that ripple is eventually going to be felt. Things will have to be pushed back. If you are a fan of Marvel, well, that's going to disrupt all of that and everything. So it is certainly going to affect a lot of different stuff. Danielle, what do you make of that?
I think that people will probably be really happy that we're not in quarantine at this time, because that would really suck. No, but I think in all seriousness, the reality is that these are real people's lives and jobs, right? Like, we are seeing strikes happen all over the place. We saw a teacher strike. You've seen, a nurse's strike, and we are at a time where there are record profits that are being made, and there is no trickle down that is happening. Right? There are these networks and platforms are making billions upon billions of dollars. They're raising their subscription fees on Netflix and other sites, right? That are hurting your bottom line. But that money is not going to the people that are making these platforms profitable in the first place. It doesn't make any sense. And the sad thing that we are going to see too is that these are industries on top of industries. These are not siloed effects, right? So there are entire systems of other jobs that will be impacted, and the trickle down of that, right? People will start to feel. So I hope that this doesn't go on for 100 days or longer. I hope that the greed can subside and people recognize that all anyone is asking for are living wages. All anyone is asking for is that if I'm contributing to you, CEO shareholder, being able to buy your 5th house or your 3rd yacht or whatever it is that you're doing, right? I too would like to just be able to own a home. I too would like to be able to pay off my student loans, right? Just to be able to exist. That's what people are asking for. And the greed in this country, the greed at the top is just out of control.
Yeah, 100%. No, I'm glad that you mentioned that it is obviously going to have knock-on effects, that if you are not producing a movie, then that doesn't just impact the profits in the end, but there's thousands and thousands of people who will be working on that. So we'll see. These strikes are always a gamble on who is going to be blamed, who is going to feel the pressure. And so that's why solidarity is so important in these cases. But there's been a reckoning coming in Hollywood on a lot of different fields. I mean, the writers definitely being abused. The CGI houses and visual effects artists deserve to be roped in this as well, because they've become so indispensable. Stunt artists also not being recognized for the work that they do. In particular, look, I'm probably biased because I'm an amateur writer myself, but it has always struck me as weird how little people care about who write the entertainment that they consume. Like, I love TV and I love movies, and so much work from so many people goes into, say, a movie or whatever. Like I like Endgame or whatever. There's good performances, great visual effects and everything. but like it wouldn't exist if it wasn't written. Like foundationally, it is so weird that we know the director, we know the stars, we don't know the person who came up with the idea and put word to paper. That just seems so weird to me. And so I hope that in addition to the pay and benefits, possible profit sharing for streaming, all the financial benefits that they're looking to get out of this, maybe a little bit of recognition of the amazing, tireless work that's done by thousands and thousands of incredibly creative people.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.